Aren't you tired of always feeling guilty when you finally have a little time to yourself? I mean, it's hard enough doing everything, being everything for everyone else, but now you can't even enjoy your rest? We gotta stop this. Today, we're gonna talk about mom guilt. We're gonna talk about how to identify it, and I'm gonna give you 5 tips to manage it when it comes up. Okay, so the truth is, motherhood is beautiful. It is glorious, it's magical, it's sunshine and rainbows sometimes. But other times, it's messy and hard and infuriating and frustrating and lonely. It can be a lot of different things. Honesty. That's something that not a lot of moms feel good about, feel like they can do, and I think it just perpetuates the feeling of guilt. Now, most coaches are going to tell you that guilt is wrong all the time. I do not unsubscribe to that blanket notion of guilt. I think that there's 2 different sides to guilt. That first side is the lie. It's the lie that society tells us, and it's convinced us that if we're not sacrificing everything all the time, we are terrible mothers. And that's just downright ridiculous. There's another side to guilt, though, a side that not many people talk about, and that is there could be some truth into what you're feeling. Hear me out. Guilt can be an indicator to tell you, hey, attention is needed in this area. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want that. If you didn't have that warning sign, that indicator, you would continue to do the thing that is taking time away from the things that matter. And it's going to be harder to come back from that. So guilt's not always bad. But I think the first thing we need to do is be honest about it so that you can give it the attention that it needs. But just realize that there's 2 sides to guilt. And, it's just kind of how it is, right? You can either embrace it or you can fight it. Those who choose to embrace it will be able to do something about it and have a chance of managing and getting rid of that mom guilt once and for all. If you're a working mom and you want more time for the things that matter, then hit the subscribe button and that notification bell and you'll never miss a video. Challenge those negative thoughts. We're going to do something about it. So you're going to, for each of those negative thoughts, you're going to write down something positive and real and true. So for example, if you are telling yourself, I don't have enough time to rest. Now, we could replace that with something like, when I rest, I show up as the best version of myself, which is a great employee, a great wife, a great mother. See, that's how it works. So take the opportunity to combat those lies, call them out for what they are, and replace them with something positive and true. We give so much kindness and second chances and 4th and 10th chances to other people, but we're so hard on ourselves. We are great friends to others, but not to ourselves. You can't give yourself too much of that. You know how hard you're trying. No one else does. Give yourself the kind of grace that you deserve, and you will see that mom guilt doesn't have the same kind of foundation to build a house on. Focus on your successes. Focus on what it is that you're doing right. You are showing up every day, going out into the world and making stuff happen. And then you're coming home and you're making more stuff happen. And then at night, you're forgetting about all of that and blaming yourself for not doing enough. Does that sound fair? Does that even sound right? So what I want you to do, and maybe you can do it at night, maybe you can do it first thing in the morning to give you a little jolt in your day, list all the things that you did right that day or the day before. This is a great way to ensure that you're not minimizing the things that you're doing right and amplifying all the things that you're doing wrong. Remember, you're doing the best you can with the resources that you have available, and that in itself deserves celebration. I want you to reach out for support. Now, support does not necessarily mean that you're reaching out to random people to help you do all the things that you have to do in your life. It could also be having a real, honest to God conversation about how you're feeling and what you're dealing with and the guilt that is holding you back with another mom. I bet that she will relate to the feelings that you are having and help you feel like you're not alone, because you're not. It is something that so many of us deal with and we just don't feel comfortable talking about. The more we talk about our guilt, the more we can encourage each other to do the things that feel right for our particular families and not the things that society is telling us that we need to do to be good moms. We just get to be the moms that we want to be. And that's the goal. And that's how we fight guilt together. And if you want to see a little bit more about how I slow down personally in my day, watch the next video and see a little bit about what slow living has done for me.